Shocking verdict for driver who hit 2 pedestrians. Construction event aims to attract next generation of builders. And your daily weather forecast is coming up with highs, lows, and everything you need to know for the days ahead.
You're watching St. George News at 5, brought to you by our studio sponsor, We Win Injury Law.
Good afternoon, I'm Monica McLaughlin. A jury found David Chad Garner not guilty of felony DUI in a 2021 crash that injured 2 teenage girls in Hurricane, but convicted him of 2 traffic infractions. For more on the verdict and reaction from the courtroom, here's a closer look.
Trial opened last week for 55-year-old David Chad Garner, who was charged with felony DUI following a crash reported in Hurricane in November of 2021 that left 2 teenage girls injured, one of whom sustained a shattered pelvis. The teens were struck by Garner's vehicle while crossing at State Street and South 300 West. The state was represented by prosecutor Grace Deist, who said it was the state's position that Garner was impaired at the time of the collision, as evidenced by the toxicology results that indicated the driver had THC and Xanax in his system at the time of the incident. While Garner was represented by defense attorney Gary Pendleton, who said his client was not impaired but was distracted at the time by his small dog, and it was shock that caused the driver to appear confused and disoriented, as reported by witnesses at the scene. Here is prosecutor Deist during closing arguments.
A normal person in this situation would jump out and they'd check on the victims. They would call 911. You don't just assume when you run someone over that someone else is going to call 911. So again, I would submit to you that his actions were not normal. They were the actions of an impaired individual.
And the defense attorney closed with this.
Let's look at the evidence of impairment. And let's try to look at it from the standpoint of other than how the defendant who suffers from PTSD, how he reacted to that tragedy.
The jury returned a verdict of not guilty on the felony DUI charge, but found the defendant guilty of failing to yield to pedestrians, and a windshield violation sentencing on the traffic citations has been scheduled for April.
Young builders put their skills to the test at the Block Kids Building Competition, where elementary students in St. George had 40 minutes to construct Lego models of construction equipment. We'll go to Nick Fiala for more on how this event inspires the next generation of builders.
Associate General Contractors of Utah partnered with St. George's Career Tech High School to host the National Association of Women in Construction's annual Block Kids Building Competition. The competition took place Friday afternoon as local elementary school kids were given a limited time to build a model piece of construction equipment out of Legos. Afterwards, they could enjoy other activities provided by local construction companies. AGC of Utah's district manager, Kathy Tollison, hopes this and other events will encourage the next generation of would-be construction workers.
But the whole purpose behind it is to get kids interested in building. So if they already like building with Legos, they can build something that's construction related in this competition. They're K through 5th graders. We just want to create that little bit of interest in there. We've got about 70 kids here today. It's about what we had last year. And so that's about as many as we can manage at once. So yeah, got a lot of great participation, a lot of excitement. Part of the process is the judges will interview them, and they get to tell the judge what they built and all the details of it, why they built it. Are they interested in construction? So they'll get to learn all about the project that they built. So we have architects, engineers, general contractors, trade contractors, university students in engineering and architect, a lot of project managers as well.
If nothing else, these kids have learned that building anything worthwhile takes time and patience.
Thanks, Nick. Let's take a look at your daily weather forecast brought to you by Casablanca Resort and Casino. Right now in St. George, it's 64 degrees. Tonight, expect clear skies with a low of 40. Tomorrow will be mostly cloudy with a high of 62 and a low of 46. Over in Mesquite, it's currently 66 degrees. Tonight's low will drop to 46, and tomorrow will bring partly cloudy skies with a high of 68 and a low of 53. Meanwhile, in Cedar City, temperatures are much cooler at 49 degrees. Expect a low of 31 tonight with a high of 51 and a low of 35 tomorrow. Now we'll head over to Tyler Todd for your weekly injury law review.
Hi, I'm Tyler with We Win Injury Law. When people think about personal injury claims, they often focus on medical bills and lost wages. But what about the emotional and physical toll of an injury? Pain and suffering compensation accounts for the lasting effects of an accident, such as chronic pain, emotional distress, and reduced quality of life. Utah law allows injury victims to seek these damages, ensuring they're fully compensated for what they've endured. Don't settle for less than what you deserve.
Thanks, Tyler. St. George's own Pokey Houghton has made a name for himself in professional bull riding, winning his first ever PBR title at the Pendleton Whiskey Velocity Tour in Reno. For more on his journey and what's next, here's Eric George Gould.
Let's do the hokey pokey!
St. George bull rider Pokey Houghton is one of the youngest up-and-coming stars on the professional bull riders circuit. The 19-year-old Dixie High School graduate won a recent Pendleton Whiskey Velocity Tour rodeo event in Reno, Nevada.
It is a young man's game, and right now I'm 19 years old, so I am on the younger side of things, but I like it that way.
Houghton told St. George News that he is driven to succeed by his passion for the sport, his love of animals, and his devotion to his family.
My mom, my dad, my whole family, I can't thank them enough. You know, they've been there for me every step of the way, brick by brick, and without them, I wouldn't be here, for sure.
Houghton decided to embark on a pro rodeo journey at 12 years old.
So I grew up playing baseball, football, and wrestling, and then when I was 12, I went up to Bryce Canyon, and I got on my first steer, and that was, I kind of just fell in love just like that.
That moment ignited a passion within him that led all the way to Reno and beyond. Pokey's mom, Vicki Houghton, talked about her feelings about her son choosing a dangerous career path.
Well, it's always been a scary journey for me because, broken bones galore and the scare of it, the danger of it. But
yeah,
it's just him. It's such a passion of his, and he succeeds so well, and it's kind of like it's just always meant to be his path.
Just going week to week, day to day, and try and do my best and try and stay on.
Thanks, Eric. Southern Utah University senior Madison Surrett Watkins has turned her childhood fascination with fossils into a budding career in paleontology, studying dinosaur discoveries from the Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument. Here's Stephanie DeGraw for more on her journey and the impact of her research.
Exploring the vast landscape of the Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument as a young girl, a Southern Utah University senior and budding paleontologist, says the land connects the past to the present. Madison Surrett Watkins discovered her first fossil when she was 14 years old on Utah's public lands. Her family often explored the National Monument and Bryce Canyon National Park. Madison had this to say.
One of the most important things about paleo is how it connects the past to the present. You can see how different species adapted or didn't to environmental shifts, and you can apply that to the present day. We can always use the past and learn from the past to make a better future, which I think is really important. And then, there's just the wonder of it all as well. There's something so incredible about holding a fossil in your hands and realizing that it belonged to a living thing that existed millions of years ago. Earth's history is so much bigger than just us, and I think that perspective is really valuable. And I think that the Grand Staircase is a great example of that, and that's one of the reasons that places like this need to be protected.
She also plans to help her hometown have a dinosaur museum someday.
Thank you for watching St. George News at 5. To learn more about our studio sponsor, We Win Injury Law, go to wewininjurylaw.com. I'm Monica McLaughlin with St. George News, your #1 source for local news.
This has been St. George News at 5, brought to you by We Win Injury Law.